Hi there, Doc from BarcastAudio here today to talk with you about the game guaranteed to help you improve your MBE Multistate Bar Exam multiple choice score. Let's jump right into it. Okay, so a few years ago, I was talking to somebody who scored in the 99th percentile on the multi-state bar, the multiple choice question every state takes on the bar exam. And I asked them how. That is insane. That is almost impossible. How did you do that? And they told me, I'll let you in on a little secret, I had a game for practicing multiple choice questions. But they did. They had this game. They called it the plus zero minus game. And what is the plus zero minus game? Well, it works very simply like this. Let's say you're doing a question set of 10 practice multiple choice bar MBE questions. And you take out a notebook and you write out the answers that you have to each individual question. So 1, I choose A, 2, I choose B. But as you're going through, as you're looking at each question and each answer, on number 1, I believe the answer is A. I'm confident that the answer is A. I feel like I know exactly what's being tested, what's being asked about. I know the rule they're testing. I write a plus next to my A. Question number 2. I am stuck between two answers. It's B or C, but I can't figure out which one it is. On that question, I choose C, but I put a 0 there. I put a 0 between the two answers. On question 3, I look at the questions, I look at the answers, and I have no idea what the answer is. I have no idea what they're even asking me about. So I put a minus next to it. Whatever my answer is, I put a little minus next to it. Because I don't know the rule. Now, when it's all said and done, when I go back through my questions, through my answers, and I tally up my score, I give myself a +1 for any plus that I got correct. If I got one of the zeros correct, and it was between the two answers that I was in between, then I give myself a half point. And then I give myself a 0, no points for any minus that I got right or wrong. And if I got a minus wrong, that's a -1. Double punish yourself. Because you need to know this. So you could theoretically get 7 questions actually right when going through this question set. But if you were a minus on 3 of the 7 you got right, you really only got a 4 because you don't actually know what you're being tested on. You just got lucky. And that luck will run out. You don't want it to run out on bar day. So this person was telling me that they did not want to just get lucky when doing these practice sets. They wanted to make sure that they didn't make the same mistakes twice. So what they did was, when they went through their answers, playing this game, they would look at their pluses. And if I got a plus wrong, they would write out the rule statement, the entire rule explanation of what was being tested on that question. And the reason was, if they got a plus, it meant they were confident in their answer. And they were wrong. It meant they were confidently wrong in their answer. If they got a 0, and it was between one of the two answers that they said, if it was the other answer that they selected, or if it was the one that they didn't select, then they'd give themselves a half point, but they wouldn't write out the full answer. They would just read through it again. They'd make sure that they felt they knew why they got that wrong, because obviously they were almost sort of there. They were very close. They sort of understood the distinction and just made the wrong conclusion. Finally, if they got a minus wrong, or right, whatever it was, if they put a minus next to any answer, they would write out the full explanation and rule statement, and they would rep it. They would read it over and over again, because it meant they didn't know the rule. They didn't know the law. They didn't know what was being tested, and they may have gotten it right. It doesn't ultimately matter, because when it all is said and done, they need to know that back and front. They need to know their deficiencies. And this student used this game to score in the 99th percentile on the bar exam. They went back and they had this notebook that they used throughout their entire process, and every week, every couple days, they'd read through their wrong answer book, and it would allow them to identify the questions that they were repeatedly getting wrong. And it allowed them, as they progressed through the bar exam process, to look at their wrong answer book and say, here, this element of hearsay, I always get wrong. I always screw it up. This Fourth Amendment issue in criminal procedure, I'm always screwing up. I need to make sure that I know this. I'm constantly getting this question wrong, so I really need to rep it and make sure I understand why I'm getting it wrong. And as they got closer to the bar, it allowed them to just completely fix their deficiencies, really understand what they were lacking in terms of their overall knowledge, in terms of their ability to identify certain issues in the MBE questions, and ultimately it allowed them to improve their score rapidly. that does it for us in this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more of these. Remember to check out BarcastAudio.com for all your bar exam, law school needs. We have audio outlines, audio attack sheets, everything you need, printable attack sheets, audio flashcards, everything. Whether you're a first-year law student or studying for the bar, we have it all for you. Until then, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.